also like to introduce a very talented, dynamic, and I would also like to introduce a very dynamic, talented, and versatile talent of our film industry, who is also known as powerful performance house, Taapsee Pannu. Applause. You would like to say something?
So it all began in a lit fest in the mountains, where I'd gone actually to promote my last book on ISRO women scientists. You played a role in Mission Mangal, and yeah, it was kind of an amalgamation of many scientists that I spoke to. And then I met a two-star general, army general, and he said, there are lots of similar inspiring stories among Veer Naris, or the widows, army widows. So he started talking about them, and as he was talking, he got so emotional. This is General Anil Chaudhary. He had tears in his eyes. So the contrast of an army two-star general, suddenly being so emotional. So I said, tell me more about the story, and that's how I got to know and meet this lady who has really transformed her life from what it was, and made a proper future for herself and for her daughter as well. So the other inspiration that, not inspiration really, but reason that I wrote this is, we all see visuals on TV and photographs on front pages of very, very young widows, army widows, at the funerals of their martyred husbands, and then you see them accepting the flags from their coffin, and sometimes they are pregnant, like the protagonist in this book, Archana. Sometimes they have really small children, and for that 1 minute when you see the visual and then you see it in a photograph, you're very moved, and the next day is forgotten. But what happens to those people? How does she, like 22-year-old, Archana was 23, what happens to them, and who support them? How do they rebuild their lives? So in this case, the protagonist not only lost her husband at a very young age and also was pregnant at that time, but then went on to suffer a lot of patriarchy among her in-laws, harassment, all kinds of things. So I won't go into that. I want people to read the book. And then she fought back. So in fact, the excerpt that I would request you to read now is the beginning of that seed of fighting back. And that, sort of led to transformation not only in her life, but there are two journeys that she goes through. So one is the external journey, that she overcomes all the challenges and actually manages to become an army officer, go to Chennai, train there for 1 year, get all the ragada, everything that entails an army training of an army officer. And then there is a second inner journey, because all this time she's been asked to be strong, be brave. So when I met the real person also, she was so stoic. She was telling me the most horrific stories which are written in the book, and she said it with a completely blank face. So तब से मुझे लगा कि what is behind this? What is the story? What is the inner story behind it? And that was also a key point for starting the book. And so the end of the book, there is not just the external journey, the army officer ban gayi, and she was able to give her daughter everything as an army officer, but she was able to get emotional freedom. She was able to feel things, able to cry, she was able to show emotion. So this two journey is like inner Fateh and outer Fateh. So I would request you to just read from page 9.
Just before I start reading it, when I met Minnie and Sonal, they came to me and told me about this story of Archana, Major Archana, I realized that how most of our stories of bravery, valor are actually finishing where the story is beginning. Because so many stories we hear about army personnel where, how they get into it and how they fight for the country and how they sacrifice their lives, and then it's just a sad thing that the war just leaves tears and probably relationships that are broken forever. And that, with that heavy heart, we finish most of our stories of a lot of army personnel we celebrate today. But this story began from there, where everyone feels, okay, this is the end, this is the beginning. What happens beyond that? What happens when that woman back home, who was not really prepared of handling life beyond after the husband left,